All right, well, what are we up against? What is China trying to accomplish? They are trying to accomplish institutionalized atheism. And what is the vocabulary word for institutionalized atheism? It is communism. Our good buddy Kennedy Hall wrote a great article not too long ago. I think it was last month. And it was at Fatima.org, the Fatima Center. The name of the article was China Will Spread Her Errors. And he talks about how Our Lady of Fatima spoke about how Russia will spread her errors throughout the world. But now what we've seen is that China is the surrogate. She's taken on atheism. She has established it and she's made it more subtle. Let's just remember for a moment the Soviet Revolution in Russia, Stalin. It's about, I think the numbers are 20 million people murdered. 20 million. Chairman Mao in China, in that communist revolution, 45 million people killed. Ultimately, the game is not about money. It's not about redistribution of wealth. It's about destroying everything of the past, destroying the memory of God so that certain people can be God and rule everything. Dissolve everything, flatten it out. We're all equal. And then a few people are just more equal than everyone else, and they're on the top of the cake. And they get to smash everyone down. Everything good comes to us through Jesus Christ. So the Mass is what shows, what makes present for us that reality. China made a deal with Pope Francis that they could appoint the bishops. This was the deal that Henry VIII wanted. This is the deal that Frederick wanted. This is the deal that all the corrupt Holy Roman emperors wanted. China actually pulled it off and got the deal from the Pope. My theory is, now that we've seen a little bit of water under the bridge, my theory is that China saw the weakness of the Pope and the weakness of the West. They willingly, through the instrumentation of McCarrick, by the way, they willingly gave up what the Catholic Church had been defending their right to appoint bishops for over 1,000 years. And then in just a season, with just a little bit of pressure from China, Pope Francis gave it all up to China. I think they realized how weak we are. Just a little bit of pressure, and they get to win. And so, yes, the COVID-19 virus is a real virus. Yes, people get it, and they get really sick. You've seen me interview Alexander Chugawel. You've seen me interview Dan Burke. People get it. They get really sick. But the numbers were a lie. The infection rates, wrong, lie. So just with some numbers and some lies and some NGOs and the WHO, a guy like this, she, was able to shut down, for the first time in human history, the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass on Easter Sunday. Now, those powerful oligarchs like President Xi, Soros, other tech billionaires realize how weak people are. They locked themselves at home, and then when that wasn't working, everybody ran out and burned down cars, police stations, shopping malls, Targets. It's insane. So my concern is they're going to double down. They're going to further try to divide our society. They'll use it on the basis of racism, class, religion, and they're going to continue to bait it. We have to just deny the narrative and be vocal. And, if that's on social media, if that's on Twitter, if that's on Facebook, if that's at the local neighborhood barbecue, if that's at your church. But I think people generally, people like you, normal people, are thinking, man, my governor failed. My bishop folded like a cheap felt vestment. Maybe your pastor folded. And even now they're like, you got to wear masks, you got to, all this stuff. The hype is still alive. And I think there needs to be a little bit of pushback and say, no, we don't believe that meta-narrative anymore. Because if we continue like this, guys like President Xi and other governments and rich people, billionaires and tech bosses are going to run and ruin our lives. What we need to do is we need to pray to Jesus Christ, and we have to share Jesus Christ with other people. If you know Jesus Christ and you have peace in your heart, you know you're on the path of salvation and living a life of virtue, you're not going to go burn down a Target. You're not going to fall for some of these lies because you're plugged into the truth. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He is the incarnate Logos. My peace I give to you, he says. So that's what we really need. And I think that by not having Mass, Masses were canceled, Catholic weddings were canceled, Catholic funerals were canceled, Catholic baptisms were canceled, Catholic confirmations were canceled, ordinations were canceled. So many of the means of grace in our lives were canceled because of these lies in social media. Look, where there's no grace, there's no peace. Where there's no grace, there's no love. Where there's no grace, there's no mercy. And so our society is spinning out of control. What needs to happen is bishops to put their miters on and get their croziers out and say, open these doors. Let the grace flow again. Everything flows from the altar. Turn on the floodgates of grace.